Welcome to Crawl Tactics. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most engaging turn-based tactics games you've probably never heard of. This hidden gem is a perfect mix of strategy, roguelike mechanics, and combat that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. So let's get into it. At first glance, Crawl Tactics may seem like your typical turn-based strategy game, characters on a grid, moving in turns, attacking and defending, but there's a whole lot more happening beneath the surface. You'll start by assembling your squad, each with their own unique abilities, stats, and traits. Want a tanking knight to soak up damage on the front lines, or maybe a glass cannon mage who can obliterate enemies from a distance? Crawl Tactics gives you the freedom to experiment with all sorts of builds and strategies. With over 60 classes to unlock, you will have a lot to play around with. Once the combat starts, it's all about reading the battlefield and thinking a few steps ahead. Enemy positioning, terrain advantages, and line of sight are critical factors you'll need to consider in every turn. It's not just about brute force, it's about outsmarting your enemies. And just when you think you've got a handle on things, Crawl Tactics ramps up the challenge. Every floor and battle gets tougher, throwing in new enemy types, environmental hazards, and dynamic objectives to keep you on your toes. Now let's talk about the interface. It's sleek and intuitive. Managing your party's skills, gear, and health is streamlined so you can focus more on the strategy and less on the menu juggling. But don't let the simple design fool you. Behind the minimalistic aesthetic lies some serious depth. Throughout the game, you'll be collecting gear, upgrading abilities, and unlocking new skills for your units. It's almost roguelike in that way. Every run feels different based on the items and skills you choose to unlock, so even if you fail, you'll want to jump back in, try a new build, and see how far you can get. Oh, did I mention the dungeons? They're procedurally generated, meaning no two runs are the same. Every time you dive into Crawl Tactics, the layout, enemies, and even some objectives will change. It keeps the game feeling fresh and challenging, even after multiple playthroughs. So how do you survive these challenging dungeons and outsmart your foes? Here are a few quick tips that'll help you crawl your way to victory. Balance your squad. Make sure your squad is well-rounded. You'll need a good mix of melee fighters, range attackers, and support units to handle all the challenges ahead. Master the terrain. Use the terrain to your advantage. High ground gives you a damage boost, and using cover can protect you from range attacks. Don't be afraid to retreat. Sometimes it's smarter to fall back and regroup rather than go all in. Play defensive when the situation calls for it. Learn enemy patterns. Each enemy has its own behavior and attack style. Learning their patterns will give you a huge edge in battle. In short, Crawl Tactics is a must play for any fan of turn-based tactics games. Whether you're into deep strategy, challenging combat, or just want something fresh in the roguelike genre, this game has it all. The thrill of narrowly surviving a tough battle or pulling off a perfect strategy never gets old. So, what are you waiting for? If you haven't played Crawl Tactics yet, it's time to grab your controller and mouse, assemble your squad, and dive into the dungeons. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more gaming content. Until next time, bye!